Good evening aspirants, welcome to Daily News Analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy. Today's date is 7th February 2024. Displayed here are the list of topics we are going to see today. Now let us start the discussion. Look at this news article. The article highlights one of the first patients who was treated with CAR T-cell therapy is now cancer-free. The patient had a B-cell cancer and it was cured by NexCAR19, which is a type of CAR T-cell therapy. The person has spent 42 lakhs for the treatment, but it could have cost 3 to 4 crores if it was done in abroad. So definitely this is a groundbreaking achievement in history of cancer treatment in India. So in this context, let us understand CAR T-cell therapy and its significance for our prelims examination. CAR T stands for chimeric antigen receptor T-cell. Here, what is T-cell? See, T cells are known as T lymphocytes. They are a type of white blood cells which plays important role in human immune system. In this therapy, T cells are modified to produce chimeric antigen receptors. These receptors are special structures that have ability to bind with certain proteins of cancer cells and destroy them. Now, what is NexCAR19, which was mentioned in the news? See, NexCAR19 is also a type of CAR T cell therapy. It was indigenously developed by ACT and Tata Memorial Hospital. This therapy was first approved in 2023 by Central Drug Standard Control Organization. Currently, this treatment is available in over 30 hospitals in more than 10 cities in India. Now let us discuss the process involved in this treatment. See, firstly, the T cells are collected from the patient's blood. Then they are modified to produce chimeric antigen receptors, that is CAR. These modified T cells are then multiplied in the lab and finally they are infused back into the patient's body. So when it goes into the patient's body, these T cells will start destroying the cancer cells. So this is how the CAR T cell therapy works. Primarily, CAR T cell therapy is used to treat certain blood cancers. So blood cancers like leukemias and lymphomas can be treated using CAR T cell therapy. Here the difference between leukemias and lymphomas is, leukemias are cancers arising from the cells that produce white blood cells. On the other hand, lymphomas are cancers that arise from lymphatic system. So CAR T cell therapy has potential to treat these two types of cancer. Here we should note that CAR T cell therapy offers numerous benefits over other cancer treatments. So conventional cancer treatments like chemotherapy and radiation can affect both the cancer cells and the healthy cells. But in case of CAR T cell therapy, the damage to healthy cells is minimized. So this is the main advantage of CAR T cell therapy. And also they are very fast since they use the patient's own immune cells to recognize and attack cancer cells. So the CAR T cells are also called as living drugs. Further, they also result in better survival chances and lower remission rates. And most importantly, this is one-time treatment and the patients don't have to visit the hospital frequently. So these are the important advantages and significance of CAR T cell therapy. So with this, let us conclude this discussion and move to the next topic. Now look at this science page article. It talks about the mystery of Zodiacal Dust. Now in this article discussion, we are going to see about what is zodiacal light and the important points mentioned in the article regarding our prelims examination. Now let us start the discussion. First, what is zodiacal light? See, zodiacal light is just the sunlight scattered by interplanetary dust. The interplanetary dust consists of cosmic dust and the dust that is present between the planets in solar system. So when the sunlight is scattered by this interplanetary dust, it appears like a bright light on the sky during dark nights and it can be seen from Earth. So this is the zodiacal light. Now what is the source of this zodiacal light and what is the source of this interplanetary dust? Where does this dust comes from? So this is a major question in astronomy for past years. But now the scientists have arrived at the answer. The scientist at Physical Research Laboratory in Ahmedabad has conducted a study on Juno spacecraft. See, this Juno spacecraft was sent to study the Jupiter and the spacecraft interacted with many dust particles during its travel. Based on studying the dust particles on Juno spacecraft, scientists have arrived at the answer for the source of zodiacal light. To put it simply, the interplanetary dust between the Earth and the Mars is created by two moons of the Mars. The two moons were Deimos and Phobos. These two moons create some dust which is scattered throughout the space between Earth and Mars. So here note that Deimos and Phobos are only two moons of Mars, and Phobos is the bigger moon and the Deimos is a smaller moon of Mars. So is that clear? Now when the sunlight is scattered by these interplanetary dust which is present between the Earth and Mars, it appears like a bright light on the sky and it can be seen in the night. So this light is called as zodiacal light. So this is about the zodiacal light and the source of it which is found in the recent study. So these are the important points we have to remember about this article for our prelims exam. So with this, let us conclude the discussion and move to the next topic. Now take a look at this front page article. Yesterday, Uttarakhand Chief Minister tabled the state's Uniform Civil Code Bill in the Assembly. It contains provisions regarding marriage, divorce, succession and live-in relationships. So in this context, we shall understand what is Uniform Civil Code and its significance. Firstly, what is Uniform Civil Code? See, it is nothing but a code which encompasses a personal law for all citizens irrespective of religion, sex, gender and sexual orientation. The UCC calls for the formulation of one law for all Indians in regards to civil cases. That is, UCC envisions a single law that is applicable to all religious communities in the matters of marriage, divorce, inheritance and adoption. And note that this UCC comes under Article 44 of Indian Constitution. Now what does Article 44 say? See, the article lays down, states shall endeavour to secure a uniform civil code for the citizens throughout the territory of India. And this article comes under DPSP. Now we shall see the significance of UCC. As you all know, India is a secular country without any state religion. So if we allow all the religious communities to have civil law of their own, then it goes against the idea of secularism. So the implementation of UCC will make India a truly secular country with uniform laws for everyone in the country. Normally, the personal laws of religion are discriminatory towards the woman. So India, by allowing separate civil personal laws to exist, it allows the operation of discriminatory provisions which are against women. So by implementing UCC, we can put an end to the discriminatory practice against women. So these are the two main advantages associated with implementing UCC. So basically, the personal laws of every religion are discriminatory. So the benefits enjoyed by one person in one religion is different from the benefits that are enjoyed by persons in another religion. So this creates a discrimination, right? So this is why we need UCC. And finally, UCC will help accelerate the process of national integration and it would create a sense of oneness among the citizens of India. So these are the important significance of UCC. With this, let us conclude the discussion and move to the next topic. Now look at this article. Yesterday, Rajya Sabha passed Constitution Order Amendment Bill 2024 and it also passed Constitution Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Order Amendment Bill 2024. So this will allow the addition of many new communities to ST list of Odisha. So in this context, let us quickly go through particularly vulnerable tribal groups for our prelims exam. As we all know, tribal communities are often identified by some specific signs like primitive traits, distinctive culture, geographical isolation, shyness to contact with the community at large, and backwardness. Along with this, some tribal groups have specific features like dependency on hunting, gathering for food, having pre-agriculture level of technology. So these groups are called particularly vulnerable tribal groups. In simple words, PVTG are more vulnerable among the tribal groups. So why this categorization is necessary? See, when the funds are allocated for development of tribes in general, the more developed and assertive tribal groups would a major part of the development funds. So in order to aid the vulnerable tribal groups with the support, we need such categories and it should be made. Remember, the term PVTG was first used by Debar Commission in 1960. Later in 1975, Government of India identified 52 particularly vulnerable tribal communities. So these 52 communities were identified based on certain criteria. The criteria includes pre-agricultural level of technology, low level of literacy, economic backwardness, a declining or stagnant population. Later in 1993, 23 more communities were added to the list. So currently there are 75 PVTGs that are spread over 18 states and 1 union territory. that is Andaman Nicobar. See, the highest number of PVTGs are present in Odisha. Now let us see the key schemes and initiatives made for PVTGs. Firstly, Pradhan Janjati Adivasi Nyaya Maha Abhiyan, which is shortly called as PM Janman Yojana. It aims to protect and nurture tribal groups, especially those on verge of extinction. So the initiative covers all the 75 particularly vulnerable tribal groups in 18 states and union territories. So note that there are totally 75 particularly vulnerable tribal groups which are identified throughout India. And the next important scheme is Vikshit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. See, it is a nationwide program aimed at reaching out to citizens who are eligible for various central schemes but not have benefited so far. This scheme provides special emphasis to the district with significant tribal population to ensure that the tribals are benefited. Thirdly, Prime Minister PVTG mission. It aims to improve the socio-economic status of PVTGs. This is done by providing basic facilities like safe housing, clean drinking water and sanitation, education and health, etc. So these are the important schemes regarding particularly vulnerable tribal groups. So in this discussion, we have seen the basics about particularly vulnerable tribal groups, the criteria with which they are identified, and important schemes regarding PVTG. So with this, let us wind up this discussion and move to the next article. Now look at this article. Yesterday there was a hearing in National Green Tribunal about the recent gas leak. As per the article, nearly 67.6 tons of ammonia gas have leaked from the fertilizer plant unit in Ennur. So in this context, we shall understand about the ammonia in our prelims exam perspective. See, ammonia is made out of 1 nitrogen and 3 hydrogen atoms. The chemical formula is NH3. Basically, it is a colorless reactive gas that is lighter than air and it readily dissolves in water. Also note that ammonia gas is non-flammable, but at certain concentrations when mixed with air, it could explode if ignited. So the gas is treated as flammable gas. Now let us see the source of ammonia. See, ammonia is made by bacteria and decaying plants and animals, and ammonia is present in water, soil and air. It is also made by our own body when the proteins are broken down. Now talking about the uses of ammonia, it is an important ingredient in urea, phenol, amino acids, hydrogen cyanide, nitric acid, soda ash, etc. So ammonia is primarily used in fertilizer industries. It is also used in the production of polymers, synthetic fibers, explosives, refrigerants, etc. Now moving on to see the health impacts of ammonia. Firstly, understand that ammonia is toxic and can cause irritation to the eyes, nose and respiratory system at high concentrations. And ammonia has high flammability, so it has to be stored very carefully. See, the acceptable maximum limit of ammonia in drinking water as per the Bureau of Indian Standards is 0.5 ppm. So if the ammonia limit goes beyond this, it is toxic to our body. If the ammonia gas is inhaled in excess amount, it will affect the lungs and leads to irritation and inflammation of lung. So this is all about the basics of ammonia. Now let us move to the next article discussion. Now look at this article. We will discuss about variable rate reverse repo auctions which are conducted by RBI yesterday. It was a notable step because for the first time RBI has conducted overnight 2 VRRR auctions in a single day. So in our news article analysis, we are going to understand about variable rate reverse repo auctions. First, let us know the difference between repo rate and reverse repo rate. See, when the banks need short-term financing, they borrow money from the central bank by selling government securities back to the central bank. So the interest rate charged on the banks is the repo rate. On the other hand, the reverse repo rate is the rate at which the central bank borrows money from the commercial banks. So this is a tool used by central bank to absorb excess liquidity from the banking system. So generally in reverse repo auction, the banks lend the money to RBI at either a fixed or variable interest rate. In a fixed reverse repo rate, the interest rate at which the central bank borrows money from the commercial banks is predetermined and remains constant throughout the tenure of transaction. If we take the variable reverse repo rate, it involves an interest rate which is determined through the bidding process conducted by central bank. RBI uses this method because it gives more flexibility to manage the liquidity in the banking system. Now, what is the objective of variable reverse repo rate auctions? Firstly, they are crucial for liquidity control. It helps RBI to control the liquidity by adjusting the volume of money circulating within banking system with a higher degree of accuracy. So this in turn plays vital role in inflation control. In addition, the VRRR auctions are instrumental in ensuring the effective transmission of policy rates through banking system. Another objective of VRRR is to contribute to the financial stability. Note that these auctions are carried out on RBI's core banking solution platform called eCuber. So the eCuber is a digital platform used by RBI to execute various transactions within the banks. In conclusion, the variable reverse repo rate auctions is important for RBI's strategy to maintain economic stability and inflation control. Now we have come to the prelims practice question discussion. Look at the first question. It is about ammonia. Ammonia is an input of urea which is produced from natural gas. This statement is correct. Ammonia gas is very soluble in water. Yes, this statement is also correct. The relatively high solubility is attributed to the hydrogen bonding that takes place between ammonia and water molecules. Cattle releases ammonia into environment. Yes, this statement is also correct. Cattle account for 80% of ammonia production. So the correct answer is option C, all three. Now look at the second question. The purpose of Uniform Civil Code incorporated in Article 44 of Indian Constitution is national unity. See, Article 44 in DPSP states that state shall endeavour to secure for citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India, and this is incorporated to inculcate national unity among the people. Now look at the third question. It is about CAR T-cell therapy. NextCAR19 is an indigenously developed therapy to cure B-cell cancer. This statement is correct. It is an indigenously developed therapy, and yes, it is used to cure B-cell cancer. Now look at the second statement. This therapy has no side effects as compared to traditional treatment. This statement is incorrect. This is an extreme statement. Most of the cancer treatments have side effects. The entire process of this therapy happens inside the human body. This statement is also incorrect. The treatment involves both in lab and inside the human body. So we have seen this in discussion. So the first statement is correct, the second statement is incorrect, and the third statement is incorrect. So the correct answer is option A, only one. With this, we have come to the end of the discussion. If you like the video, please share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel. Thank you.